Welcome to r/Am I the Butthole, where OP's sister is obsessed with herself. Am I the butthole for telling my sister to stop mommy jacking every conversation and to let me talk about myself? My sister has 2 kids, ages 4 and 1. Ever since she got pregnant about 5 years ago, she pivots every conversation to pregnancy, breastfeeding, her kids, etc. We have a family group chat, and it happens anytime I try to text about something, no matter how important. When people are responding to me, she brings up something about being a mother, and everyone drops what I was saying and moves on to her. It's been annoying me for a while. This happened for pretty much any conversation that happens. It only doesn't happen if she's asleep or not on her phone, so that's not often. She did it after I got engaged, when I was talking about my new job, when I'm talking about my health, when I bought a house, etc. At the start of this week, I found out that intense restructuring is happening at the company I work at, and my job situation is up in the air. I've obviously been very stressed about it and wanted to vent and get advice from family members who have been in the workforce longer than I have. After no messages all day, I text the group chat. I sent a couple of messages back and forth with a couple people in the group. Then, my sister sends a picture of her baby talking about how he wants some milk. Conversation then turns to be about the baby, and I just got really upset because it happened once again. Especially because I could tell by the lighting in the picture that it was taken hours earlier. I privately texted her asking, "For once, can a conversation be about me without you mommy jacking it?" She told me I need to grow up and that not everything is about me. She apparently then called our mom to tell her about it, and my mom told me I was a butthole to send that text, and that I need to lighten up. I'm assuming word got around, because now no one will respond to anything I say in the group chat. OP, you taught me a new word. I've never heard of mommy jacking before. I don't think there's an equivalent for guys, because daddy jacking sounds really dirty. OP, I'm on your side. I'm giving you 0 out of 5 buttholes, and your sister 0.5 out of 5 buttholes. Am I the butthole for refusing to go to my sister-in-law's baby shower, and the rest of the family is following suit? This started after my brother married Ruby. At the time, everyone seemed to really like her, and my older sister and I were part of her bridal party. Her wedding was around 5 years ago. Soon, they were talking about trying for kids, and they were struggling with infertility issues. Ruby was quite upset, but it got a lot worse when my older sister, who was 26 at the time, got pregnant. Ruby was snappy and mean to my older sister, and people tried to be very mindful since she was struggling. When the baby was born, Ruby didn't send any gifts. I got pregnant my senior year of college. It was an oops baby, and I only told my mom because I was unsure of what to do. I was a heavy drinker at family events, and when I wasn't drinking, my grandma joked I must be pregnant, and my face gave it away. That's how it came out. I didn't plan to tell the family like that. Ruby, in short, lost her mind at me. She yelled at me about how I don't deserve a kid and called me a lot of names. My mom tried to make her stop, but she yelled at her also, and told my mom that she deserved the stillbirth that she had. Wow. The whole thing was horrible. When I gave birth and I posted pictures online, she made a post saying that some people don't deserve kids. She has not apologized. The issue is that Ruby is pregnant and she's having her baby shower. All the women in the family got an invite. I talked to my mom about it and decided not to go. My mom is also not going, and everyone seems to be following my lead on this. We all RSVP'd no, and my brother called me asking me to come. I told him no, and it started an argument. He says that his wife has been crying about being hated by the family and wants everyone to make up. I told him that isn't my problem and that it's her fault. He wants me to suck it up and still come, and has texted me multiple times about it. I know if I don't go, no one else will, especially since my mother hates Ruby after that argument. There are some sentences you can say to someone that will forever just completely murder your relationship with that person. Saying that a woman deserves a stillbirth is definitely one of those sentences. There's no coming back from that. OP, I'm giving you 0 out of 5 buttholes. I'm giving Ruby 3.5, maybe 4 out of 5 buttholes. That's really bad. Am I the butthole for pointing out to my fiance that if she wants kids, she has to actually have sex with me? My fiance and I have been together for 6 years. The first 5 of those were amazing and passionate, and quite frankly, we couldn't keep our hands off each other. The last year and a half or so, though, has been rough because I lost my job for 4 months before finding a new one. And she's been going through some mental and physical issues as well. She stopped initiating intimacy, or being receptive to my initiations, and now often recoils from my touch and my kisses, and seems to have a completely different personality from the first 5 years of our relationship. We've talked multiple times about how to rekindle and re-engage our passion together, but she just never seems to want to actually act on it once we've talked. With all that said, she constantly talks about wedding and marriage and having kids together, and how we'll raise these kids together. Don't get me wrong, I do want to have children, but it seems like putting the cart before the horse while we still have to figure out other aspects of our relationship. All this came to a head during a family dinner when she repeatedly talked about our plans for children and our life together, like kids were a foregone conclusion. I became visibly more and more withdrawn and uncomfortable until later when we were talking about a moment together outside. She asked me what was wrong, and I responded with, "You know, we actually have to have sex in order to have children, right?" Now she's yelling and screaming and swearing at me, and I've apologized multiple times. I probably could have phrased it better, but I don't think that I was the butthole for pointing it out, especially since I did it in a private situation where nobody but me and her could have heard. OP, sounds like your relationship has some pretty serious issues. Are you sure you want to marry her? Is she sure that she wants to marry you? Seems like you two are just together because of inertia. Down in the comments, someone says, she wants a wedding and kids more than she wants you. True! OP, I'm giving you 0 out of 5 buttholes. I'm giving your wife 1.5 out of 5 buttholes, not because of the non-intercourse thing, but because why is she mad at you? You are objectively correct and you're trying to address the issue. Am I the butthole for telling my coworker the office prank wasn't funny and refusing to participate? I'm a 23-year-old guy who works in a small office. We're the type that celebrates birthdays with supermarket cake and a card that everyone signs. There's this guy on our team in his mid-30s who loves banter. He's not malicious, but he pushes things. Last week it was my birthday. I don't like big attention, but whatever. I came in and my desk was completely wrapped in tinfoil. Keyboard, mouse, chair, monitor, even my water bottle. Everyone was laughing. Someone filmed my reaction. I smiled at first because I assumed it was light. Then I realized they also changed my desktop background to an old LinkedIn photo of me that I hate. Like zoomed in, slightly distorted, and they printed it and taped it to the wall behind my desk. Everyone was watching me. I just stopped smiling. I said, "Can we not do this?" The banter guy said, "Oh, come on, it's your special day. Take a joke." I said I didn't find it funny and started unwrapping everything quietly. No yelling, no swearing, just not playing along. The mood got weird, fast. Later, my manager pulled me aside and said that I killed the vibe, and that it was meant to be team bonding. Apparently, they spent their lunch setting it up. Now some people are acting awkward around me. One said I could have just laughed and moved on. Another said I made it uncomfortable by being serious. Here's my thing. If I had fake cry laughed and pretended it was hilarious, I'd be rewarding it. And I genuinely felt embarrassed being filmed while everyone waited for a reaction. I didn't insult anyone. I didn't storm out. I just didn't perform gratitude for something I didn't enjoy. Am I the butthole for refusing to play along? You know, the thing about pranks is that inherently there's a chance your prank will not be received well. That's kind of the nature of pranks. People aren't obligated to enjoy a prank. Also, you know, it's kind of an annoying prank having all your stuff messed with. I'd also probably be annoyed in that situation. Also, down in the comments, we have this story from Benjamin's. This happened to me once. I didn't take any of it down and I left it. The manager came in and asked when I was going to remove it. I said, never. Why should I be involved at all? And then someone asked what happened, and OP says, it stayed up for 2 years until I left the job. They kind of expected me to clean it, but I just did enough so that my desk was usable. The walls stayed pranked for the entire time. I'd get looks from new people who came in, but I didn't care. I didn't do it, so why would I clean it? Am I the butthole for telling my girlfriend to stop sharing her food? My girlfriend always offers to share her food with everyone when we go out to eat. I've asked her why she does this, and she says it's just how she was raised, to always make sure everyone else at the table is taken care of before she eats anything. I've told her multiple times that while it's an admirable gesture, she doesn't have to do that, and that no one will judge her for not offering her food because they have their own meals. This isn't just with shareable items either. She'll offer bites of her burger, or pasta, or soup, and other things that are simply not easily split, usually ending up with another person taking direct bites or stabbing their used forks and depositing their saliva into her food. Aside from the ick factor, I've also told her that she really needs to avoid offering her meal when we dine out with my friend Brian because he's the type of person who has no self-control with food and zero social awareness to understand that help yourself does not mean you can eat all of it and I won't mind. This has happened a lot in the past, where he'll eat 90% of a shared appetizer plate because the rest of us were talking and being polite, and he just assumed that meant that we weren't hungry. I wouldn't care as much if he paid for it, but he's almost always broke, and doesn't seem to understand what taxes and tips are. If the item was listed as $11.99 on the menu, when the check comes, he'll toss in exactly $12 and thinks that he's square. I know most of you are going to ask why I'm even still friends with Brian if I hate eating with him, but please understand that he's a really great guy and a reliable friend. He just has a really troublesome relationship with food. That's not the only facet of his personality, just the only one relevant to this post. Last night, we were out again with friends, and my girlfriend once again offered her meal to everyone, Brian included. I didn't want to make a scene, but I gave her a little nudge, and she just gave me a shrug in return. Unsurprisingly, Brian ended up eating most of her food, as well as his own plate, and my girlfriend didn't say anything. On the way home, she asked if we could stop by a fast food place because she didn't get much to eat, and I told her she should have just eaten the food she ordered instead of offering it to the table. I said this was exactly why I warned her, and that she's seen the way Brian is with food, and that she shouldn't have been surprised when he ate more than she was actually intending to let him. I still stopped to get her something, but I also complained that I don't enjoy paying for Brian's meals since he basically ate all of hers. I might have been harsh, but this has come up multiple times, and she knows I'm not a fan of it. I could tell that she was upset when I said it, and she still is now. She hasn't called me a butthole, but she's making me feel like one. And I think we're both expecting the other to apologize first. So, am I the butthole? OP, you don't see it as an issue at all, that you somehow excuse your friend's issues with food, and they just can't be helped, that's how he is. But you expect your girlfriend to fix her issues with food. Why blame her and not him? He's the one who's doing something wrong. He's being selfish, she's being nice. You can't stick up with your girlfriend and be like, yo, Brian, 1 bite. Instead, you criticize her for being nice. I'm totally on your girlfriend's side. I'm giving you and Brian 1 out of 5 buttholes. Am I the butthole for calling my wife's friend's dating technique idiotic? I'm a 38-year-old guy, and my 34-year-old wife had some of her friends over for dinner, and we were talking about this and that. One of her friends, a 32-year-old woman, starts talking about how she can't find any good men to stick around. My wife and her friends are sympathetic. We keep on talking about her and her latest dates, and she starts talking about her dating technique. This is essentially to show as little interest as possible and to ghost guys she likes, since she wants them to fight for her. I laugh and say that's just plain stupid, and of course she'll not find any good men since only the bad ones will actually do that. Like, good guys who will respect you will never keep chasing you if you send out the signal that you don't want them. I'm on the spectrum and I can have a hard time realizing when people are upset. So my wife bumped me and told me to shut up. Later, after everyone left, she told me she agreed with me, but I didn't need to be so blunt about it. I don't know, OP. Maybe she needs some blunt advice. Honestly, I think you're being more of a friend to this lady than your wife is, because you are correct. OP, you get 0 out of 5 buttholes. That was r/Am I the Butthole, and if you like this content, check out my podcast where I publish the exact same episodes. Also, hit that subscribe button because I put out new Reddit videos every single day.